it's me, Tony Bomboni ASMR. Welcome back to your video. So today I wanted to discuss dating and my opinion on it and not really my experience on it, but my advice on it. I don't want to go too personal with what I've been through. But basically what I've learned and what works best in the dating world. I don't know everything. I'm no love guru or whoever that guy's name is, Matthew, whatever, the love dude, the dating relationship advice dude. I think he's British, I forgot his name, but yeah, nowhere near that. Just a fun ASMR video. I like discussing different topics. In no way am I an expert. Have I studied this field thoroughly? This is just my opinion on what's worked for me personally and what hasn't worked really time and time again. So dating can be fun. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be taken seriously. The more serious aspect of it is for marriage and commitment, like when you're really committed in a committed relationship with someone, no matter who that may be, I'm talking about all kinds, boy and boy, girl and girl, boy and girl, it doesn't matter. I guess it's supposed to be fun. I'm just trying to pick up and key and chain together things because I don't like to script my videos. I just like to let it flow naturally. So yeah, most people, when they date someone, I believe they in secret or not in secret see other people and date other people at the same time to see who works best. Kind of like that show, The Bachelorette, right? I don't like that. I think that's like the best way to carry disease. And especially when you just do one-nighters or flings with people, it's just like, no way, no thank you. I can't do that. Wham bam, thank you, sir. Like, no, that's not my lifestyle choice. I'm always committed with one person at a time, even when dating. I like to commit, so that's just me. It's not about me, but it's up to you. Dating can be put into category A and category B, the one where you see other people and date other people, or just really have fun with it overall, and have like friends with benefits, whatever. Again, not for me, but anyway. Beyond the point, I'm talking dating specifically. If you want advice on dating, this is for you. Like if you want to get serious into a committed relationship with someone, this video is for you. So I'm not going to go off a tangent because there's many different subcategories to each category. So depending on whether I guess this video could be for someone just wanting to be in the dating field. It's like the friend zoning of dating, like you just want to be dating and that's it. You don't want anything serious. I guess this video is for you too, but not really. Like I more want to talk about how to commit, how to get to commitment, because I personally I don't think I've ever gotten there. Well, I can't say never. When I was younger, I kind of messed up what dating was and what being boyfriend. I thought it was just like single and then boyfriends. Like I didn't know the difference between getting to know someone and then getting on the path to committing to someone. So I guess in a sense, realistically, I've never ever been like in a committed, serious relationship. I have, but they've been long distance and those never work, and I was very, 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 very young. That was like a decade ago, so that doesn't count for me personally. I mean, to actually be with someone every day and commit like serious hardcore, like no one else, I don't think I've ever gotten there like fully, with the intention of like marriage, or with the intention of like absolutely no flirting with anyone, absolutely no, you know what I mean? Like sometimes depending on who, pretty flirtatious, and I don't realize it, but even when I'm That's my problem. Like, even when I'm with someone, and it's very difficult, especially when I'm with someone who's very jealous. Okay, I have no choice but to talk about myself in this regard to relate to your scenario, because I try so hard, like, not to divert away from talking about me in connection to this video. However, it's very difficult to explain yourself when you don't talk about personal related experience. Otherwise, you have like nothing to bounce off of, if that makes sense. So, excuse me for saying this, but my problem is, like, especially if I'm with someone who's really jealous, like, naturally, you know, if someone's attractive and stuff, I may say something, or not a comment, like, I won't be like flat out, but I'll in a way project my flirtiness in some way, and it may bother some people. Or like, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with my guy friend who just, like, you know, happens to be a guy, and then they're like, oh, you know, like, who are they? Are you with them? Are you seeing each other? And it's just awkward and confusing. So, okay, so some advice about dating is, with someone like that, do your best not to bring up those subjects with them. Now, I'm a proponent for being yourself and not, like, even following any dating advice. I used to do that, and then I realized, like, this is too difficult. It's like trying to pass a test. Let me just, this is not a test, this is not a business, this is a person, this is a human being in front of you. If you don't naturally connect and vibe, when you become committed and you finally take that test mask off, they're going to see the real you. That's not actually who you are. You know, a lot of people tend to have this, like, faux charisma about them, and especially men. I've noticed this in men more. Like, they will project themselves a certain way that they're really not, and it's kind of like, it's vague, you know, and almost can be off-putting and, like, quite fake, to be honest, because fake and vague, you know what I mean? Because it's like shallow connections, and then, like, after 3 months, 6 months, you always realize, like, oh, this is the person unmasking before my very eyes, and they're not actually like this. Or, you know, they can put on a show and act for a month or two, but it gets old for anyone, you know, and it gets tiring after a while, especially when they're seeing, like, 5-6 partners, and they're, like, texting other people, you know, like, it's very exhausting to keep up that act, you know. Eventually they will slip, and now, in the dating world, I don't recommend this. I've done this personally because I'm very, like, at first, sometimes untrustworthy. But if you're the untrustworthy type, if it really bothers you, don't act out unless you really have a feeling. Like, don't start texting them like, oh, are you cheating? Are you with someone else? You know, like, that's a relationship, dating, whatever you want to call it, killer, okay? I'm going to say relationship through this whole video for short, but I'm not going to keep saying dating. So you get the point. Like, you're having a relationship of some sort with someone, you're connecting, whether you do click or not. You're going to end up either friends or, you know, chatting from time to time. It's a relationship of some sort, unless you really cut them off, like I have been doing in my instance. I don't really keep people in my life too long. I don't know why. In my private life, I'm talking in my private life. It's kind of like come and go, you know. It's not really shallow connectedness, but it's just like, I feel like I give all my time and energy, and that's my problem. And you don't want to do this either in the dating world. Like, give too much at once, too fast. Big mistake. Big purchases too soon. Vacations too soon. You know, I've done all that, made mistakes, spent probably like, I don't know, 10 grand by now, just like spending on boys, and it's just like, so, it's not everything, you know. It's not like, well, and friends, I can't say just boys, gosh, anyway, but that is not like the way to really connect with people, you know. In fact, they don't care if you go to a bakery or Thailand, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to go all out and splurge too soon, because I've noticed a lot of times when I gift people things, they are not as, like, appreciative as you would imagine, or like they feel guilt that you bought them something and they couldn't do the same for you, do you know what I mean? So, like, if you can afford it, I guess go ahead. If you have that kind of relationship, maybe if you're a sugar mama or sugar daddy, I don't know, go ahead, do what you want, have fun with it, you know. I've been in those kind of relationships too, but obviously I was the baby, but I ain't rich. But you know what I mean? You want to connect with someone on a a level where it's like you have a mutual understanding, and those were fun too. Like I love dating different daddies and like going out and having expensive dinners and like traveling and whatever, you know, I did at the time. Very, very short-lived, but I was having fun with it. I was young. I was like 19, 18, 19, 20, even as far back as 17, I think, actually. No. Oh, 18. No, it was 18. But, it was 18, I promise you. I'm not that crazy and barbaric, but, yeah, so you just manufacture whatever you want out of it, you know, have fun with it. If you want to be a fake person, if you want to be a baby, whatever, you know, like, have fun with it, you know. If you want to practice your acting, date 10 people, I don't care, and see how convincing you are. If you want to cry in front of someone, you know, in no way am I convincing you to do this or trying to tell you to get your acting career started by dating random people and breaking hearts, okay? Unless you're a psychopath or sociopath, I recommend you not do that, okay? Even if you're those things, I recommend you not do that, okay? Because hurting people is not nice. Hurt people, and just don't go all out at the beginning. I've been told I have a big heart. I like to spend on the person I'm with, even if they have more money than me, or like if they're older than me. I will still always like feel the need to try to compete or like in some way do better, be better, you know, step up the ladder, step up my game. And a lot of people I notice don't like that. Like they treat me like a child, like a boy, like I'm the one that should be taken care of, not the other way around. But I have such a sense of responsibility. So if you're in a tough scenario like me, where you're like, you don't know who you are, your identity is confused and constantly changing. Sometimes I'll feel more dominant, sometimes I'll feel more submissive, you know. So it depends. Even with gay relationships like mine, like it can switch and be versatile. So it's like you don't know what you are one day to the next. Sometimes it's a flow, it's a mood, you know. And so you kind of just connect. And I think a lot of relationships are like that. Even like straight relationships where they're like, all of a sudden the wife is, or the woman is suddenly like feeling more dominant, and she needs to command and take control and rule for the day in whatever way that may portray to your life, in whatever way your mind imagines that scenario. And that's okay, you know. Sometimes that can happen even with lesbian relationships. And there's a lot of lesbian relationships, a lot of lesbian friends I've had in the past who have switched between one person being more of a domineering than the other, and at different times, and it's okay, you know. You can switch up, and we all come in different shapes and sizes, and we're all so unique and beautiful in our own way. So a lot of times for me at the very beginning was conflict with my appearance, and now I feel more better about myself than before. But if you have a struggle with your appearance, that can be very, very critical in a dating relationship world, because your self-consciousness will project onto them. And if you constantly bash yourself, talk bad about yourself, say you're ugly, you know, what is the other person gonna eventually think of you? You know, it's cute for a couple days to be on your supporting side and say, oh no, you're not, you're beautiful, you have no idea how pretty you are. But then day in and day out, when they see you're always like this, they're gonna say, if they don't value and respect themselves, what do they see in me? Maybe they think I'm ugly because their mind is so judgmental to themselves. Because, it's hard to explain, but let me get your mind to view this in my perspective. Say, for example, I am with someone who's calling themselves ugly every day. I think they're the most gorgeous person on earth. If that's ugly, then I must be a hideous monster. Because for their beauty, for them not to see their beauty, they must think I'm, you know what I mean? So that's why you being that person, doing that, can hurt the other person, me. Do you know what I mean? So not everyone is willing to think things through this way, but sometimes it can be annoying. Like the other person doesn't want to hear you every day say like, oh, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm gross, like, and they may not think the same, but after a while they'll start believing you because, okay, you keep handing me this platter every day. All right, guess I'm gonna start eating the food and believe it, you know. Guess I'll grow old ugly with lowers the self-esteem, and a lot of people have been in relationships time and time again. They're too afraid to leave because they're trapped in this constant low self-esteem cycle, like the trap of just like, I'm not good enough, this is not me, you know. And that's like a lot of times like teenage relationships, early 20s maybe at best. I've gotten over that. I'm no longer in that category, thankfully, but I'm in the more complex category now, which I'm going to get to, which is more like advancement. Like, how do you get this from dating to commitment, you know? And I'm not the type to really get married. I'm too afraid of marriage. If you're in that category where you're too afraid of marriage, that's fine. You know, commitment, financial, you know, spread half your assets. You know, I'm not all about that life. And most people aren't. Nowadays, people are not even traditional. They don't even want the traditional 40, 50 year till death do us part kind of lifestyle, you know, sign a paper, whatever. I am in alignment with a prenup if you do, okay? And making things very clear. I think boundaries are so important in a relationship. That's something I've learned recently as well. A lot of times I tend to act out in childish ways and immature ways for attention, for whatever. I don't know what was not fed to me enough as a child. I don't know why. I just like unconsciously being put in the spotlight, even though I hate it at the same time. I don't like drawing attention to myself, but for some reason I draw in people who like take that and take that and take that until they can't take it anymore. And you know, I tend to draw in people who are very social, who just the complete and utter opposite of me. So you're going to tend to draw in energetically, vibrationally people who are opposite of you, and that may be a little bit uncomfortable at times. And it'll have to be outside of your comfort zone. But I've also drawn in people who have like addiction problems, who are very just have stressful lives, you know, who are just constantly busy, who just don't have time, who are not emotionally available. And you know, that's a learning curve if you go through that as well. I'm not going to give advice on that today because I'm going through that right now. That is not what I am here to do. If I cannot get myself out of that, what the heck can I say for you to get you out of that? What kind of advice can I give you? Best of luck, do you know what I mean? So I can only give you advice based on what I've been through. So I can tell you that boundaries are important, like I was saying earlier, because if you don't have that clear set of rules and understanding with each other, there's going to be constant frustration. You're going to get angry at each other. And it's such a relationship killer. Like, that's killed time and time again, multiple partners, because there is not enough of a... That's like if countries don't follow each other's laws and they start, like, shooting rockets at each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a nuisance, and it's bothersome, and it's risky. It's not pleasant. It's not comfortable. And if someone doesn't need your solicited advice, don't give it. If they don't want to hear it, if you're maybe reading too much into them, I've been told that before. Like, I've been told before, like, I'm very weird as well. Like, time and time again, I keep replaying the same pattern. It's so funny. Like, I'm a weird person. My boundaries are a little bit whack. And I'm not ashamed to talk about it. We all have flaws, right? Like my mentor says, we're all flawed human beings. I agree with that, and I disagree with that. But at the same time, I have an attachment. Like, I feel the need to hold on and cling to the person for dear life and be their angel or be their savior. You need money? Here. You need help? Here. You need unsolicited advice? But I'm going to be your therapist today. Here. Don't be a therapist. Don't be a parent. They're not there for that unless they really want it. You know, not everyone is for the codependency, attachment kind of thing. I like it, but I do not draw in partners that like it. So, you know, it's a learning curve for me. Like, how can I be more like that? How can I be more like them? How can I be even more independent than I already am? Because I'm a boss, let me tell you, okay? If I'm not independent, who is in my life? Do you know what I mean? And not to sound like prideful or egotistical, but that's true. Like, I'm one of those independent people. I know. I've always been alone. I've never been in a committed relationship, so I don't know what it's like to be with someone for years and heck, even have children and stuff. You know, I've always been on my own and to survive on my own. And some way. I remember, even my parents tell me as far back as a toddler, literally, they would try to feed me food, and I'll be like, no, samia sakam sam, in Macedonian, which means no, I want alone. I want to be alone. And I've always wanted to be alone. I've always wanted, like, since a young kid, to move out on my own and experience that life and just, work like a slave and just, keep to myself. And I have my own plan, and I'm a very big planner. If you're a very big planner, I would say that you may just end up attracting people who are not. Again, same problem with me. I attract people who just do not plan at all. Like, they are so spontaneous. They're off the rails with plan. They don't like it. They will cancel plans last minute. I hate cancel plans. If you don't like that, if you're not happy, leave. Most important of all, leave, and don't commit to people who are, if you like dating multiple people at once, don't commit to people who are saying, no, we can only see each other, bye, like, don't stand for that, or don't cheat behind their back, or don't sneak behind their back and see other people. But yeah, definitely there are multiple categories to this. That's why I'm kind of bouncing between things, and it may not make sense, but whatever makes sense, write it down, journal it, play back this video. It's fast-paced because there's a lot of information coming through in my head, but what else can I say out of dating? Yeah, like, texting is one big thing, or calling. Like, if they say, I don't like calling, don't call. Text, okay. If they prefer to call, don't text. Wait, did I say the right thing? Text, call, text. You get what I mean. Conjoin with their preferences, because out of love, if you really like the person, then even if it's outside of your comfort zone, you will do a few things here and there on their list of preferences, just to make it happen. And the tricky thing is if you mess up, because, hey, if the person says, call me, don't text me, most people like to text. You may not like that, and that can really bother you. Make it clear from the start. The thing I hate is deceit. Like, I've had so many deceitful partners who are just, like, very unclear, unfocused since the start. They don't really know how to have a deep conversation and connect with me on a level where there's a mutual understanding. Like, we always have to keep replaying the same thing over and over again, and keep reminding each other over and over again that this is not a relationship, this is just dating, we're just seeing each other, this is not serious. Like, I hate that. Like, I've had so many times where, like, they've already told me, and then they tell me again, and it's like, did you not make it clear from the start? And then, you have these all sorts of conflicting feelings again. Like, are they seeing someone else? Are they, but you don't want to share those feelings. You just want to share as much as they give. So whenever they give you something, you give back. Whenever you give something, if they don't give back, maybe it's not really worth it, because what if down the line you guys end up together and they're not putting in the work, so make things very, very solid and clear from the start. But at the same time, another problem I've had was constant reminding as to what my needs and wants are. And a lot of times people don't like that, because it's like, how can I predict the future and know if this is going to work or not? So my problem before was reminding the partners of, hey, where's this going? Where do you see this going? Or, kind of like that kind of thing. And they don't really like it. It pisses them off. It gets on their nerves, whatever. Especially with men, I've definitely noticed that tendency, for sure. And I can't speak on everyone's behalf, because in the gay dating world, it's very complex and different, and it's promiscuous, and it's always the other person thinks the grass is greener on the other side. They're going to find someone better than you or something. And it's just like, a lot of them want to be with different partners, or like have an advanced sex life or something. It's not for me. Again, if it's not for you, don't be with someone who wants that, because trust me, it's just going to end up in disappointment and failure. Try to let go and detach of the idea of a partner completely, because that's the biggest struggle of all, is when you're so attached to the idea, like you will so desperately hold on to People pick up on that. People pick up on if you're with someone else. People pick up on what you project and think of them. You may say one thing about them, but then actually feel it differently. And you can be the greatest actor in the world, but you will definitely be picked up on. Almost immediately. I mean, have I had scenarios like that? Probably, where it's like I said one thing but really meant another, and then they knew, so be honest, don't deceit, don't lie to yourself, and don't lie to others as well. It just prolongs things and breaks hearts, and, at the same time, is there really such thing as a broken heart, You can go through so much and still make it out okay and move on to the next person, but that's another thing is, try not to jump from person to person, because it can be exhausting, like, going through partner to partner. And if you're very sensitive and emotional, and it may not be the best thing for you, you may want to take a break in between and stop seeing people for a while, take time for yourself, process what happened, heal, and move on, Then when you're ready, you'll meet the right person. It's just the whole jumping thing is so scattered, and, it's supposed to be a loving world, but at the same time, it's a cold world when you jump from person to person or see multiple partners at once. It's just exhausting. It's like a full-time job. I mean, do what you think is best and what you may feel works for your preference, but I would not go too far with it, because at the end of the day, you're the most important person. So take good care of yourself, and the other person will not only take good care of you, but take good care of themselves as well. If you're a very tidy, neat, organized person, and then the other one is messy and disorganized and a cluttered mess, and usually that's what's going on in their mind too, even though they may not admit it. So think on that. If it really bothers you, which most likely it will if you are a clean person and they're not, that may not end up working either. You want to have pros and cons in your mind about these people. Unconditionally loving is nice and accepting and all, but realistically, you can only tolerate so much over time, and it's your reaction to those things that make a relationship happen. But time and time again, if you constantly have to battle reactions, what's the point? If someone just flat out doesn't make you happy and you have to constantly basically fake your way through it, what's the point? So keep that in mind, be honest with yourself. A lot of people tend to hold on to partnerships, again, out of desperation, because they'll have no one else. They'll die alone. They'll be sad without them. They miss the company. They hate being alone. They're tired of it. And it's a fading feeling. Anything that's fading is not real in this universe. So anything that is strong, which is love, is forever. So just keep that for yourself. And then I think the right person will come along most definitely for you. But at the same time, when you have that love for yourself, who else do you need? So that's why I say dating is such like a fun world. Like when someone says, oh, we're just dating, to me personally, in my experience, that means I like you, but I'm not sure. Like, we'll see where this goes. If someone really cares about you, someone really loves you, you would already be in a committed relationship with them. And I've seen it happen, and I know it's real. And people are so afraid to commit. Honestly, my opinion, I think people have a twisted perception on it. If you're dating someone, in some regard, you're already committed. Here's why. Especially if you're just seeing each other. Because you're just seeing each other. You are dating, which means you're doing literally everything that partners do together. So I have a difficult time with that boundary, that drawing the line of, dating and commitment, because it's like, it's literally the same thing, minus the fact that maybe you don't have as much time for that person to actually commit. That's literally the only difference. it's such a triggering word for me personally, because it makes me feel like, where are we? If you're not comfortable with that kind of hanging out in space feeling, this may not be for you, okay? That's why I say being or dating with multiple people may be the best decision for you, because it gives you a sense of security knowing that eventually it's like winning the lottery, like a scratch card or something. Like, you'll win $1 off one of them, right? But is it a quality card? Are you going to win $50 or just $2? Do you know what I mean? So value yourself, respect yourself enough to be okay by yourself, but at the same time, if you're really serious about this and about committing, then try with several people. Nothing wrong with that. Just make it very clear with the people you're seeing what you're doing, because I've noticed this even in the gay world. Like, there's many gay marriages even, and they're open. Like, it's shocking. Like, they could care less that they're with other people at the same time, and it's just, to me, it's unnerving. It's unacceptable in my world personally. But again, you keep your standards. As I relate and connect to you through this video and say what I like and what my preferences are, make a preference and a list of yours. So that's why I'm bringing up these things, so that I can remind you of what works best for you, so that you don't forget perhaps, and you jump into the next relationship and now you don't know what else you want or what it is you really value in a relationship. So it's very important to go through these lists and these things and try again. My experience personally dating in apps has never worked out. It's been an epic fail. It's been just a bunch of a heck of an experience. Like 95% of the time, you're not even going to meet the people you're first typing to on the app. Unless you really feel, it's a feeling, like unless you really like each other's pictures and each other's conversations, you're most likely not going to meet. And it's fast-paced, usually you only need like a week or two max before you actually end up meeting, especially if you live within close vicinity. And people like to keep the excitement going while it's fresh and hot. They'd rather not wait 6 months of talking to you on the app or texting you before meeting. Like, that's too long, girl. If you're not seeing me within 2 weeks, bye. Like, I don't have time for you anymore. I don't have time. I'm too grown for that, so I'm too busy. So again, keep a list of your priorities, what you want, and your demands. And again, have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. Okay, otherwise you're just gonna end up disappointed and with what we call a broken heart. Again, it's your reaction to it. If you want to have a broken heart, you can. It doesn't have to be a real reality for you. But that's what I mean. Like, if you fall so head over heels over someone and they are just not feeling the same, it's devastating, and you will fall into depression. Okay, so expectation is the biggest killer of all, and when you're not on the same page with someone, it's just horrible. It feels like a death, So really have a conversation, communicate. It's so important to communicate with your person, but realize it's not like this. It's not like a chain where you're like chain linked to each other all the time and you have to text each other once every 3 minutes. Like, it's not realistic. It's not healthy. Okay? What's healthy is a boundary and an understanding with each other from afar. So this has just been a beautiful experience trying it. I never thought I would end up really just I guess casually dating in my mid-20s, but it's happened, and it's a very unique situation because there's so many different people who want so many different things, and you have to know what works best with you and your demands, but at the same time not being so selfish and ignoring their needs and demands as well. And talking about yourself. Try not to talk about yourself too much. This is a very self-conscious behavior that takes practice, because we don't realize how much we talk about ourselves. And I notice in conversations, people will tend to pick up on that as well. So do your best to switch it up and connect talking about yourself with talking about the other person. Like, example, you're see like, I don't know, a Bengal tiger or something they're showing on the news broadcast, random, and then you're like, oh, I have a cat that looks just like that. Oh my god, he is so cute. I love my cat. I'm always with my cat. I'm always hanging out with animals. I love animals. Do you see the pattern? Me. And that gets old very fast. So catch yourself when you're doing that. It's hard to have a 50-50 rule, but I say it's like a 50-50 rule, more like 150. So let's say 100 talking points about you, 50 about them. So for every 2 talking points you say about yourself, I love cats. The Bengal tiger looks just like my cat. Say one thing to them. Do you have a cat? Or do you like cats? Or what do you think of that cat? I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Just make it flow and connect. Don't be like random, or like a lot of people overthink, and analyzers who are like analytical and let me scratch that. There are many people who tend to analyze and overthink what they're about to say next. So example, you see that Bengal cat on TV and all of a sudden you're like, I like cats. And then you say something like, no, this is not a good example. Okay, I'm just gonna say it like it sounds so stupid. I'm hungry. Or like, I have to go pee. Like, no, that's a bad example, because like, obviously, if you're hungry, if you have to go pee, you know, you want to say it, but like something that's a horrible example, but I can't think of one right now, but something that is so far off, like disconnected. Oh no, here's a better example. So like when the person is talking about themselves and what they're going through, and all of a sudden you interrupt them with something totally different, like, oh, look at that cat on TV. Like, it's so rude and disrespectful, you know, or like you're trying to like divert the conversation. That's a very big pet peeve for many people, including myself. So do your best to kind of listen and connect, and listening is so important. So that's linked in with talking about yourself. So make sure that you listen to your partner and that they feel heard. Stop interrupting them, stop talking over them, stop trying to like even say words in between while they're talking. You know, it can be awkward sometimes and uncomfortable to look them in the eye and sit there in silence, but especially new relationships, like people have a hard time looking me in the eye. Like, I don't really like when people do that, actually, to be honest. Like, I feel like that's a sign of disinterest or disrespect when someone can't look you in the eye for long enough, and they may like have feelings and bubbly, tingly feelings for you, but it's a strange thing when someone doesn't, it's like they don't give you a holding hand, they don't appreciate you enough to be serious with you. Like, it's a commitment when you see someone, you know. And there's a trick to that. Like, if you don't feel comfortable, you can look at them here, and then every 5 seconds you switch your look here, then 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 your look here. Like, don't make it too obvious. You can like do different patterns. Every 5 seconds you look at these different spots on their face. You know, you don't have to like directly look if it makes you really too uncomfortable, because looking at people's eyes for long can be nerve-wracking, you know, especially low self-esteem. Maybe you work from home or something and you don't have the confidence to face people every day, like someone working at the drive-thru, for example. So you want to face people head on, and if you're serious about dating, you most likely are going to be serious about this and follow these tips and, you know, look someone in the eye today. You know, people feel appreciated when you do, but some people feel like, don't look at me, intimidated, you know, maybe that's not for you, whatever. But that's just a thing you're gonna have to figure out. And another thing about dating is don't get obsessive, because that literally can end bad with stalking. Oh gosh, like crazy bad, like someone ending up throwing rocks at someone's window, like obsessive behavior, looking through their phone to make sure they're not texting other people, driving to their family members' homes. Like, there's all sorts of scenarios that can occur. share too deep, personal, private things with someone too soon, especially your address. I never hand out my address. Never. Like, even the first year, I will be like, heck, I'm with someone right now, going on 4 months, and they still don't know where I live. You know, see them at their place or go spend out some time somewhere else, especially when you live with other people, because you don't know if that person's going to end up cray-cray and they come to your door and they're obsessive-compulsive and they just... not obsessive-compulsive, that's OCD. I meant to say obsessive in a terminology where they just want to be with you and no one else, and if you're not with them, you die. That's what I meant. So, your intuition, I have a feeling we'll figure that out, but go with your gut, you know, if it feels right. You know, obviously, if you go over their place, you can't just always go over their place, you know, eventually they're gonna have to come over your place, so it's just a trustworthy thing for me personally, because I've just been in so many wild situations that it's just, I don't allow that. That's my boundary. I don't accept that in my life anymore, because I need to get some time to know the person. I sound like Jamaican. I need to get the time to know the person. Oh, where did that come out? I swear. My Jamaican woman is coming out. Anyway, so yes, I have an inner Jamaican woman in me. She's loudmouthed. She like to talk smack, and when partner piss her off, she like to get on the punching bag. Yeah, okay, I'm done. Manchester girl. So, like I was saying, another thing is talking about your ex-partners. Oh Lord, that is just as much bad as talking about another guy, even if it's a straight friend with a jealous partner. So, I've learned this from the best, that talking about your past relationships is unacceptable unless they ask. And that's one of the things I hate that still bothers me, because sometimes I will talk about it. I notice more people talk about it with me more than I will with them, because I don't like to just get involved with that, because I know how it feels like if someone's constantly talking to me about their ex. It's like, well, okay, they're more important to you than me, right? So, but that's one of the things, like, you want to be yourself, but at the same time you want to hold back on talking too much or sharing too personal things, because the crazy person will use that personal thing against you if you end the relationship. Trust me on that. So, you want to limit yourself with talking about the deep, private, personal things until at least 6 months. It's like a job. At least 6 months until you ask for a raise from your boss. Got it? So, but again, make sure you have those feelings on point, intact. If after 6 months of dating them, you still have a feeling inside that's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't yet, go another 6 months, please, at least make it to month 9 and then reevaluate, reassess. Every 3 months you should be reevaluating, reassessing the relationship. 1 month is too soon, it goes by too fast. You only see each other like 4 times, do you know what I mean? So, another thing is, what can I say about dating? Don't abuse iMessage, okay? Don't text them like a Twitter wall and say, I'm taking a poop, I'm eating, I'm going out now. They don't care, okay? Just say hi from time to time, connect in a conversation. Don't text if you have nothing to say. Like, don't start saying hi and then, like, keep it shallow and short. Like, that will slowly make things die off, you know? Only message when relevant, and I've noticed you want to keep a healthy distance. Like, if you want them to kind of come to you more, you have to sometimes sit back and let go and let them text you, because if they really like you and care about you that much, they're going to message you first, okay? So, if you notice that you have a pattern, a trend of constantly messaging them first, like once a day, you're like, hey, how are you doing, what's up, whatever, they're going to end up saying, delete my number. Like that meme, you know, with one of the Simpsons, delete my number. Anyway, but I probably sound crazy. So you're doing, what is Tony even talking about here? You know, if you have addicting behaviors, that can be an issue. I've had problem with that. Like, you got time and time again being with people who have some sort of addicting or obsessive behaviors, or doing something that is just like, time and time again, it'll just get on your nerves. So again, be aware and observant of red flags, okay? Red flags, in your list of pros and cons. make a list of red flags as well, because those are the significant things. If someone is too nice, too clingy, too hello, that could be a red flag as well. If they like you too much, if they start being too intimate too soon, too with you too soon, too into you too soon. I've honestly had this problem, like me being that person who's too soon to them, you know, like not the other way around. I usually have people more like emotionally unavailable, distant, whatever, detached, and detaching was the biggest thing I've had to learn to do and to let go within the past year. And you know, it's like a science lab. You don't know what you're gonna get, so experiment, learn, grow. It's important for your personal development. And dating, I love it because you get to know yourself through other people and what you really like and demand in the other person. You know, demand sounds like a dictator, but do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Tidiness. Take good care of yourself. Personal hygiene. A shower once a day, twice a day if you need. If you sweaty, you know, like wear deodorant, wear perfume, cologne, whatever. Take good care of yourself. Grooming yourself. You know, I've noticed like time and time again that's like number one. Like if you're not feeling your best, slap on some moisturizer. Look okay, look alive. You know, you don't want to come like looking dead at your dinner date. You know, like, or come drunk. Oh God, like I've had. Trust me, the works. Okay. Do something nice for them once in a while. Order pizza for them. You know, don't all of a sudden go order K Jeweler's ring. Like, not about that life. Okay, like that's too soon, too fast. That's literally on the verge of just flat out psychopathic. I mean, like usually people who do that, I say to be aware of people too clingy, too soon, too fast, is because they want something from you that they've been trying so hard to get through other people, and they couldn't get through other people because they're doing some behavior or patterns that are not okay and not healthy for other people. So be aware of that when someone is too excited too soon, you know. And for someone who's like a social recluse like I am, sometimes it can be exciting to have a new start and a refreshing thing and a good time, but have fun with it. Don't take it seriously. It will devastate you. It will, in fact, kill you. When you have cruddy partners time and time again, it's so bad. Like, the people who live the longest on earth, they don't even have partners. They never get married. Like, they're alone all the time. Like, being alone is so addicting. You have no idea. Like, it's actually dangerous, okay? So, it's healthy to go and meet people once in a while. But at the same time, keep that boundary for yourself, too. That where you spend time for yourself, okay? Like I said in the beginning, don't forget about yourself ever. Don't get caught up ever in the idea of dating, in the idea of relationship, in the idea of being with other people, in the idea of texting other people. Don't ever hook yourself to where you have to think of them constantly. You have to constantly worry about what they're doing, how they're taking care of themselves, or be demanding or say like you should do this, you should do that, you know. Keep your cool. They're grown, most likely, if you're watching this video, 18 plus, you know. You're grown, they're grown, they know what they're doing, they know how to take care of themselves, they know how to put on their underwear, they know how to get the milk from the fridge and put it in their cup, in their cereal bowl, whatever. Like, they can take care of themselves if they can do those things, okay? They can drive to work, whatever. You get the point. I can't emphasize enough to stop treating people like children, because sometimes in loving relationships, your inner childs come out and you connect together and you forget that they're this like grown person who's been through 30 years experience. Like, I'm saying a 30-year-old would be like a baby with 30 years experience. That's pretty much all of us, you know. And imagine someone at their job for 30 years and you telling them how to do their job. Like, shut up, grow up, move on, right? So, can't emphasize that enough to you guys. I hope this advice is helping you. I'm trying to pick up on if there's anything else I should say before I continue. There was something I would have said earlier, but I totally forgot by now. But if I forget, usually that means it's not that important to connect to this whole story, but you get the whole picture, you know. If you're a planner, like, map out what you really want. Don't share it with the other person too soon, because that'll freak them out, especially if they're not ready. I could go on and on, but there are people people too. They'll make mistakes too. Don't hold against them one thing they did May 6th, 2014. We all get worrisome and anxiety from time to time, or suspicious of them if they suddenly smell like someone's fragrance and you're like, where were you? I thought you were at work. You don't know. Never assume. Maybe a coworker just hugged them because they were having a hard day and crying, or just wishing them happy birthday. Maybe you're the jealous type. Evaluate and assess how you feel and be honest and open with your partner up front about that. And if you're, let's say example, if you're the jealous type, it's one of many things. You could say, I'm jealous, but I'm doing my best to change that. That's all your partner needs to hear sometimes. What can I do for you today? Would you like me to make you breakfast? Are you feeling better? Check and ask them. That's back to the texting thing. Nowadays, I don't really feel the need to text who I'm with, all the time. I will rarely, if ever, because I'm so caught up in my own world, it's just once a day at most. And if we start conversing, I'll do it back and forth, but usually the texts are spaced out 20-30 minutes in between. And some people like that. Some people like the suspense, but many people I notice want you to text them back right away. It's a half and half thing. It's you get what you get. I am not really sure. I'm not going to give you advice on that, because I've had all sorts of people who prefer if you don't text much at all, and I've had people who prefer if you text all the time, and I've had people who prefer if you text once in a while. So everyone's different. You just kind of compromise, and don't compromise too much to where it ruins your happiness. Your peace of mind is always more important. Your unity with yourself, your connection with yourself through God is so important. Don't lose yourself in the process. A lot of times partners tend to become like other partners they're with, because after a while you become like the person you're with. So if they are having a problem, behavioral issue or something like that, addictive behavior, you may end up eventually 5 years down the line becoming like that because you're with them. So it's hard to project in the future and think ahead 5-10 years. It's too hard, I know, okay? It's a challenge, I should say. But challenge yourself to progressively visualize yourself moving forward with this person. How is my life going to be down the line? Because you never know. Dating could end up to be serious, and you don't know if things will end up you moving in together and having a house. Oh God, that's another topic. Hold on, let me get some Pepsi, because I can go on and on about the subject matter. Y'all are getting the tea spilled today. Hold on. I said this was going to be a good one. Alright, my dear universe darlings, children of the universe of God, the one and only Almighty. Let me tell you, this is the big one. Do not plan finances together, especially in the first year, if you're not married or in a serious, committed relationship. Do not mix finances with your partner. And do not mix moving in together so soon. There was this one kid I dated who said they had moved in after 2 months. Child, like I said, you would not get my address after a year, not to mention moving in. I gotta know you 5 years. That's me personally. Sorry, I have to know you I have to be your friend, or you're dating you, or your partner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 years. I've known friends for 5+ years who ended up betraying me, doing me dirty, doing me the worst growing up. It takes time to get to know someone. Imagine if they did you dirty and you moved them in. Yeah, either a lawsuit or something worse. I mean, I've known this one person who had roommates, they ended up moving a lot, apartment to apartment, in different states, and this one roommate of theirs was throwing lamps on the first day. I was like, observe the conversation. If they keep bringing up time and time again, moving in with you or something like that along those lines, like, well, I have no one to live with, or it can even be things like going on vacation together. Like, if they keep bringing it up, or like they're obviously using you're wanting something from you for their advantage, for their benefit. Now, that's okay if you really like the person, and you really are connecting after months and years of talking. And I mean years. I really mean years, because it goes by so quick. You have no idea. You think 5 months is long. No, it's not. No, it's not. Trust me. Even 5 years is not long. Trust me. People are people. They change too. And you have to progress with them through their change. That person you started dating on day 1 is not the same person on year 4. It's like you're constantly learning something new. And even marriages, that's how marriages last forever. They're constantly learning something new through the 80 years of their life about each other, and they so happen to be accepting of each other and loving each other unconditionally to grow with each other through those years. Are you willing to commit to that? And that's something you really must ask yourself. Or you just want to have fun and go out and party and drink and whatever you want to do, smoke all day with the random partners. Like, I say partner, but partner can mean a one-nighter or a serious whatever. Like, partner is just like whoever you want it to be. It's your word, okay? You label it whatever you want. I'm just summarizing for you for easy emphasis. I want you to understand this video, and I want you to connect with it. If you're here watching to this very end, then I really hope this has just gotten my point across and I said everything I did. I think I have to end it here, poopsies. Thank you very much for joining me on this wonderful journey through life. This is a work in progress. Maybe I'll make another one 5 years from now, updating how things are going. But right now, I'm very private about my thing, and I don't want to get too into it, because it's like, I just feel it's like out of respect for the other person. I'm going through my own personal struggles with it. So are they, and we're just kind of right now. It's like, it feels like floating right now. It's just like, we don't know what's gonna happen, like merging or not, I like to imagine not universes, 2 galaxies. Like, imagine the Milky Way and Andromeda. When you get to know someone, first you merge tips, and then you merge like different suns and planets, and then all of a sudden you're one united galaxy. But you can always separate, which I don't think is possible, but for the metaphorical purpose of this analogy, it takes time. It takes billions of years, and they're not in any rush to merge, because they know eventually they will, or eventually they will part and merge with another galaxy to unite as one. But don't forget, you were once a separate galaxy. You're not always going to be as one. Nothing does stay like this forever. It doesn't have to stay like this forever. You can do what you want with it. You can merge with many other galaxies into one super mega omega galaxy. You make of your life what you will of it, as long as you have mutual understanding, commonality, acceptance with each other. That's all you need in this life. As long as you are happy. That's the point. Look at Abraham Hicks' works, Esther Hicks, same person. And what she preaches about love and about being in a loving relationship with someone. I highly recommend listening to some of her works, because it's very, very prolific. And it can be a bit difficult to understand what she's saying or meaning sometimes, but it all comes down to the same thing: love. If you are willing to have that with someone, that's all. You can have fun with it. You don't have to miss the person. You don't have to text them always, I miss you, I love you. You don't have to feel the need to do it. You can end up being telepathic with each other. You can connect with each other. And you tend to notice in partnerships, like, the same thing or thinking the same thing